Welcome to my channel, The Human Frontier. The first time I saw her, she was hiding behind my toolbox. Which, considering I worked on the busiest docking station in the Orion Outer Ring, wasn't the strangest thing I'd seen that week. But it was definitely the most unexpected. My name is Leo Carter, Maintenance Technician, Shift B17, Docking Ring 4. My job was simple: fix broken systems, patch hull breaches, and make sure ships didn't fall apart while docked. Nothing glamorous. Nothing dangerous. At least, that's what I thought. Until the day a missing alien princess ended up inside my room. The girl who didn't belong. It was late, past the end of my shift, when I finally returned to my quarters. Quarters might be a generous word. It was a small, cramped room barely large enough for a bed, a folding table, and a wall-mounted storage unit. The station didn't believe in luxury, especially not for maintenance crew. I tossed my tool pack onto the table and stretched my shoulders. Another day, another broken docking clamp. A faint sound interrupted me. A soft shuffle. I froze. Slowly, I turned my head. The sound came from the corner of the room, behind my toolbox. I frowned. Hello. No answer. Great. Either I was hearing things, or someone had broken into my quarters. Carefully, I stepped forward. Look, if you're stealing something, you're going to be disappointed, I muttered. I barely have anything worth. And then I saw her. The lost princess. She was crouched low, trying to stay hidden, her body pressed tightly against the wall. At first glance, I thought she was human. Then I noticed the details. Her hair shimmered faintly, like strands of liquid silver. Her skin carried a soft glow, almost like moonlight. And her eyes. Her eyes were a deep violet, wide with fear. She couldn't have been older than 18. Definitely not a thief. She looked up at me, terrified. Please, she whispered. Don't tell them I'm here. I blinked. Okay? Not the response I expected to give that day. I raised my hand slightly. Hey, relax. I'm not calling anyone. She studied me carefully. You're human. Last time I checked. You work here. Yeah. Her shoulders relaxed just a little. Then she did something surprising. She stepped forward. I need your help. A dangerous secret. Normally, I would have said no. I liked my job. I liked not being arrested. And I definitely liked not getting involved in mysterious alien situations. But something about the way she looked at me, desperate, exhausted, scared, made it hard to walk away. What kind of help? I asked. Before she could answer, the station alarms went off. A loud announcement echoed through the halls. Attention all personnel. Lockdown protocol in effect. Security teams are searching for a missing individual. Report any suspicious activity immediately. My stomach dropped. The girl froze. They're looking for you, I said quietly. She nodded. Yes. Why? Her hesitation told me everything I needed to know. This isn't a small problem, is it? No. Define no. She took a breath. I am Princess Elira of the Varelian Empire. I stared at her. You're joking. I am not. Of course she wasn't. Because apparently, my life had decided to become complicated. The smallest safe place. Okay, I said slowly. Let me get this straight. You're a princess. Yes. You're hiding in a maintenance worker's room. Yes. And the entire station is on lockdown because of you. Yes. I rubbed my face. Yeah, that sounds about right. She watched me nervously. Will you help me? I looked around my tiny quarters. Then back at her. Then at the door. If I turned her in, my life would stay simple. If I didn't, Everything would change. I sighed. All right. Her eyes widened. Really? Yeah. Relief flooded her face. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, I said. First rule, you stay quiet. Second rule, you don't touch anything. Third rule. I looked at her. You explain why a princess is hiding in my room. The truth behind the escape. She sat on the edge of my bed, looking far too out of place in my cramped quarters. My mother, she began, is arranging a political alliance. A marriage, I guessed. Yes. Let me guess, you don't want it. No. Classic. She gave me a small, tired smile. It is more than that. The alliance is dangerous. The one I am to marry. She hesitated. He is cruel. That wiped the humor off my face. So you ran? Yes. And ended up here? I escaped during a diplomatic visit. I did not plan, beyond that. I nodded. Sounds like a solid plan. She sighed. I know. Hiding in plain sight. For the next few hours, I did everything I could to keep her hidden. Which wasn't easy. My quarters were tiny. There was nowhere to hide. Every knock on the door made her flinch. Every footstep in the hallway made me tense. At one point, security officers passed by. I held my breath. They didn't stop. We both exhaled. You're not very good at hiding, I whispered. I was not trained for this. Clearly. She looked around the room. This place is small. Thanks. But it feels safe. That surprised me. Safe? Yes. She looked at me. You did not ask for anything in return. I shrugged. I'm not a monster. She smiled softly. No. You are not. The moment everything changed. The next morning. Someone knocked on my door. Not a casual knock. A firm one. Official. I froze. Elira's eyes widened. Stay quiet, I whispered. I opened the door. 2 royal guards stood outside. Tall. Armored. Definitely not the type you argue with. We are searching for the missing Varelian princess, one of them said. My heart pounded. Yeah, I heard about that. Have you seen anything unusual? I shook my head. Nope. Just broken pipes and bad wiring. They studied me. For a long moment. I thought they knew. Then they nodded. If you see anything, report it immediately. Will do. They left. I closed the door slowly. Elira stepped out from behind the storage unit. That was close. Yeah. She looked at me. I cannot stay here forever. No, you can't. Silence filled the room. Then she asked the question I had been avoiding. What happens now? A choice that changed everything. I leaned against the wall. You have 2 options. I am listening. You go back to your people, and face whatever they have planned. Her expression darkened. Or, I took a deep breath. Or we find a way to get you out of here. She blinked. You would help me escape. Yeah. Why? I thought about it. Then I shrugged. Because no one deserves to be forced into something like that. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she smiled. A real smile this time. Then I choose the second option. The escape. Getting off the station wasn't easy. Security was everywhere. Ships were being checked. Identities verified. But I knew the station. Every shortcut. Every blind spot. We moved through maintenance tunnels, avoiding patrols, slipping past cameras. At one point, we had to squeeze through a narrow service shaft. This is not dignified, she whispered. Welcome to my world. Finally, we reached the docking bay. My ship was small. Old. Barely held together. But it could fly. You trust this? She asked. Not really. She smiled. Good enough. A new beginning. As the ship lifted off, the station grew smaller behind us. Elira sat beside me, watching the stars. You saved me, she said softly. You saved yourself, I replied. I could not have done it alone. I smiled slightly. Yeah, well, try not to hide in random people's rooms next time. She laughed. A light, genuine sound. And for the first time since I met her, she didn't look like a lost princess. She looked free. The meaning of a small room. Days later, as we drifted through open space, I realized something. That tiny, cramped room I had always complained about had become the safest place in the galaxy. Not because it was secure, not because it was hidden, but because of what happened inside it. A scared princess found safety, and a simple human made a choice. Sometimes, that's all it takes to change a life. Or maybe even an empire. Because in a universe filled with power, politics, and war, the safest place isn't always a palace. Sometimes, it's just a small room, and someone willing to protect you. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.